So, are you ready to explore one of the 7 wonders of the world? Stay tuned. Welcome, Travel Nation, to the Traveling Cheesehead. I am Cheesehead Girl, and if we're just meeting for the first time, welcome to my channel. Here I share travel tips and tricks, do product reviews on travel-related items, and like this video, take you on my journeys from around the world, sharing what I've learned along the way. If sounds like you, consider subscribing below. Leave your comments. I look forward to reading them. So today we are going to hit Agra. Now, this was our first trip where we did all the planning for the entire journey, including booking their flights and ours. So this journey started really rough. We flew from JFK to Heathrow Airport, and we had about a 3.5-hour layover in Heathrow. So that's usually plenty of time. Our flight left on time. The initial flight was fine. We get to Heathrow and land on time, and then proceeded to sit on the tarmac for 2 hours. I was losing my crap. I could see out the window. There's the gate. I need to get off this plane. I have a connection. And this was back in 2007. So for whatever reason, when we booked this flight, it came with our original flight, and then we had to recheck in with a different airline once we reached Heathrow. And we needed to check in at least 1 hour before our flight. Otherwise, we were not going to be able to be allowed on it. We ran. Finally, when they let us get off the plane, we booked it. I mean, we ran through this entire airport. We didn't care who was in our way. We were just like, move it, move it, move it, move it, move it. If you've ever been in a scramble like that on your journeys, you can sense the, panic as you're running through this airport. And we finally get to the gate or the counter to check in. They were transferring our luggage. That wasn't a problem. But we get to the counter to check in for our Virgin Atlantic flight to New Delhi, and we missed it. Like, literally, I'm looking at my watch. Our flight was at 10 p.m. It was 8:55 when we got to this counter. They would not let us check in, and we're like, but it's not we still have 5 minutes. Like, we were pleading. They even talked to the gate agent. They said no. So we were like, what are we supposed to do? And they were just kind of like, This was our first experience where we had missed a flight, and really kind of the only, no, we've had a couple others, but anyway, but that's our first one, and it was rough. We ended up being stranded in Heathrow overnight. We had to get a hold of his parents because they were meeting us in Agra. So they were flying from Mumbai to New Delhi and then taking the train down to Agra. But we were supposed to meet up there the same day. We didn't have a flight until the next morning. We were spending the night in Heathrow. There was no options there. There was no other flights going out that night. So we were really stuck. So we let them know what the hotel name was, who the reservation was under. I had luckily put their names on the reservation at the hotel so that they could check in. So long story short, they had no problems checking in. But then we were in for the nightmare that was Heathrow Airport. Imagine we just flew on a red-eye flight from JFK to Heathrow, not planning on spending the night there. We had planned on continuing on to our next destination. So we now are stuck. None of the shops or anything, restaurants, nothing was open. We hadn't eaten anything. We were obviously really tired, exhausted. So we went to find places to sleep. So we found a couple places, and then they had to change the light bulbs. So the guy on the little lift thing that was going up and down to change the light bulbs, it was beeping, the little safety beep, beep. It was awful. Any case, finally the next morning, we waited outside British Airways. They opened up about 4 a.m. We went over, pleaded to get on a flight with them. Because they were partners with our original airline, we were able to transfer to them. They got us on a 6 a.m. flight to New Delhi. And from there, we knew we would be able to catch the train. So we landed in Delhi at about 4 a.m. Delhi time. And come to find out, our bags did not make it. So we just had our carry-on luggage. Thankfully, we had put some, essentials in there for the first few days, but we really didn't have much and didn't know when we would get our baggage. We weren't staying in New Delhi. We had to leave. We had to go straight to Agra. So we filed the report, told them the address of the hotel that we were staying in. They promised us they would find our luggage, get it to us as soon as possible. Our luggage happened to still be in Heathrow, so they were going to be putting it on the very next flight to get to us, but we likely wouldn't have it until the next day. So that being said, we made our way to the New Delhi train station to catch a train down to Agra. Now we had to get there early because we wanted to get on the first train, which the first train was at about 6 a.m. So we took a rickshaw over. We didn't need to take a taxi. We didn't have any luggage. So we took a rickshaw over to the train station. I will say being at the train station at 4:30 or 5 o'clock in the morning is a little uneasy when you're a foreigner because there are a lot of people sleeping there. And you don't know what kind of element you're dealing with. So I don't recommend ever going to a train station in any part of India in the middle of the night if you can avoid it. The trains themselves tend to be okay, but it's not going to be safe. I had my husband with me. He's from India, so he was able to navigate, talk the language, ask questions, and get us where we needed to be safely. So we got on a train, we booked our ticket, got on the train to Agra, and I only have one picture of the train. But it was like any other passenger train. It was perfectly comfortable. We slept a little bit because, again, really hadn't slept at all, and arrived in Agra by about 8:30 in the morning. So it's about a 2.5-hour train ride from New Delhi to Agra. So, and we took the express train, by the way, too, because there's a slower train and then the fast train. Definitely get the fast train. So we arrived and again got a rickshaw over to our hotel and ended up checking in, surprising his parents and waking them up because they had had a long journey the day before. So long story short, that day we were off to see the Taj Mahal. Now, what I will tell you is I was so excited. This was a destination that I had dreamed of going to my entire life, but really never thought that it would be possible. I guess I always wanted to go and dreamt of it, but never really thought it would become reality. So I'm very particular. Like when I want to go somewhere, I want to go like at the perfect time because I don't know if I'll ever be back. So sometimes I'll find things out. I wanted to go at dawn, but we ended up taking, because his dad had booked a car to take us around Agra for the day. We ended up not going to the Taj Mahal until much later in the day. We went really right before it closed. We went for a couple hours around 4 o'clock or so. So we got to see it at sunset, which is also very cool, but it is a lot more crowded. So the first places we went in Agra that day that we went was we went to the Agra Fort, which was very cool. Actually really pretty. It's all in white, and the gardens are gorgeous, and it gives some of the best views of the Taj Mahal from a distance. So it's highly recommended if you get to go to Agra Fort while you're in Agra, stop there, because some of the pictures that we were able to take there and the architecture of that fort just in general, it's amazing. It's so beautiful. And then just being able to look out at the Taj Mahal in the distance is something magical about that. So there's a couple other things that Agra is known for. One of them being rugs, and India itself is known for rugs. So we actually went to a design room that designs the patterns and draws out the intricate patterns that are then later woven into the rugs. So we were able to see that process in action. We were able to see the weavers actually weaving the rugs and having that photo pattern that was drawn out from the workshop come to fruition down below. It's an amazing process. These people work their hands and fingers to the bone, but the artwork and the intrinsic details that they put into each and every object that they're creating is incredible. There is definitely a sense of honor that comes with the craftsmen that make these beautiful woven rugs. And if you have a chance to go, like, it's well worth it. I come from a fashion background, so anything that has to do with fabric arts to me is very interesting. But even if you're not, it was just kind of cool to see how those rugs get started and then come to fruition through the drawings into the actual rug that you can roll up and take home with you that day. So another art form that is very unique to Agra and really comes from the inspiration of the Taj Mahal is marble inlay. Now, when I say that the rug designers and the rug weavers work their fingers to the bone, you haven't seen nothing until you've seen a marble inlayer. So the Taj Mahal obviously is a marble covered structure. It's brick on the inside, marble on the outside. But in that marble is all of this beautiful, intricate inlay work where it was all precious stones that were inlaid to the marble. Now, if you know marble, marble is not soft, it's hard. And as you grind it and cut it, it becomes sharp. And these inlayers, they cut not only the marble out to create a spot for the precious stone to go in, but then they file that precious stone in there to lay it in to the design. And this is all because the Taj Mahal was made that way. So, you know, they now do these things on smaller scale, obviously, where it's like a table or coasters, but they're heavy. So as a souvenir, it's beautiful to bring marble home, but it is kind of brittle. So you have to pack it well. And it's also very heavy. So you kind of have to manage your expectations of what you're going to be able to bring home. We actually got a replica of the Taj Mahal made out of marble with marble inlay. So that's what we did. And it was a little bit lighter in weight because most of it was hollow. But you have other things that are really heavy, like we saw this little end table, which I was trying to figure out a way that I could bring it home, and we would have had to ship it. It was already very expensive, and then the shipping on top of it was going to just really go beyond our price that we wanted to spend on a souvenir. All right, so then I saved the best for last. So the Taj Mahal. What I can say about it, it is as stunningly beautiful as you have been led to believe. I will tell you this, leading up to the Taj Mahal, so they have a perimeter around the Taj Mahal where auto traffic is not allowed. That's to preserve the structure. And it's very important because obviously this thing is thousands of years old. They want to preserve it for all eternity. And pollution is a problem in all of India. So they want to keep it pristine as possible. So they have moved back the barrier of where auto traffic can go. So you will need to walk in. And when you're walking there, like any major tourist destination in India, just be prepared. There will be obviously the tourist kind of shops and stalls along the way selling all kinds of handicrafts and souvenir stuff. But there will also be beggars coming along and asking you for money. There will be kids trying to sell you chiclets. That's a thing. And so just be aware of that, because as you're walking up, it will be very tempting and it will be very easy to be distracted by what's going on. When you get to the gate, this was one of my very first kind of rude awakening things, where the price for a foreigner and the price for an Indian citizen are way out of whack. Now, I'm fine. I'm a foreigner. I have no problem paying more than an Indian citizen to enter into one of their historic landmarks. That's okay. I expect that. I'm coming from a foreign land. As an Indian citizen, that is a benefit of yours to being a citizen, to be able to visit that location for a discounted rate. But I was not expecting to pay, I don't even know the percentage. So this was back again in 2007. So I don't know what the prices are now. If you're going to go, definitely do some research on that. But when I went, an Indian citizen was paying, I believe, either 10 rupees or 20 rupees to enter the Taj Mahal. For me, as a foreign citizen, I got to pay 700 rupees to enter the Taj Mahal. Now, for me, obviously, conversion rates, that's still a very reasonable amount of money for me to enter this site. I'm not downing that. What I'm saying is the level of disparity between what the Indian citizen pays and what the foreigner pays is kind of appalling. So just know that. Again, the American dollar is very strong against the rupee, so you feel bad complaining about it, but it just kind of took me aback the first time I went, because my ticket was 700 rupees and like my in-laws ticket was 20 rupees. So it's quite a difference. But once you get past that, you go through security. They have female-only security and male-only security. That's pretty common throughout India, even at the airports. Once you get into the gates, you are in the outer gardens. And even as you're walking up, you just kind of feel different. It's just, it's so, and it was very busy the day we went. It was, I think it might have been a weekend, but it was very busy. We were getting there around 3:30, 4 o'clock. But as we walked up, you get to the main gate, and as you turn the corner to start entering in, you get your first glimpse, and it takes your breath away. I can just go back to that moment and it was incredible. You walk up and it hits you and you're like, I'm here. It was so surreal for me to be walking up to that, never expecting really to be there. So we walked in, and obviously I took way too many pictures, but it's okay. It was just a beautiful experience. Now, they do not allow video recording at the Taj Mahal, from what I understand. So just be careful of that. Do what you're going to do, but just understand that the security people will come up and ask you not to take video. Photos are fine, but video is not okay. So and I don't know what the reason is for that. It just is a rule. So just be prepared. But the photos that I was able to take, I'm sharing a bunch of them now. It's just incredible. Now, the story of the Taj Mahal, you probably know it's like the most famous love story ever. The builder of the Taj Mahal, it was one of his favorite wife, because he had many, and this was his favorite wife, had passed away during childbirth, and he built the Taj Mahal as a tribute to their love and his love for her. And so it's one of those very romantic, kind of things, because it is a true love story about how he felt so devastated by the loss of her. Funny story, there's a river on the other side of the Taj Mahal, and it's kind of low right now. It's not as high as it used to be. But he always planned to build another Taj Mahal in all black marble across the river from his wife's, and that would have been his mausoleum. So that is the cool thing about the Taj Mahal. It is a mausoleum. It is a burial site for his wife. He is now buried there as well, because he never built his black Taj Mahal. The other thing about the Taj Mahal that's kind of interesting is we've all heard about the architecture, the symmetry, and how it's just such a beautiful example of Mughal architecture, and it is all of those things. But many people don't know that when you're entering the Taj Mahal, you're entering the back. The front is actually on the other side facing the river. So if you want to get some really cool photos of the Taj Mahal, and ones that are a little less busy, where you're not going to have as many people in the way, have your driver, tour guide, whoever, take you to the other side of the river. There's a park there that you can walk up to the banks of the river and get some really great shots of the Taj Mahal unobstructed. We actually ran into a photographer, which I'm sure will happen to you as well, who offered to take our picture and then mail the picture to my in-laws. That did happen. We weren't sure if it actually would happen, but it wasn't very expensive to do. So we have a very nice picture of the four of us in front of the Taj Mahal taken by a photographer. So the last thing I will say about the Taj Mahal is it was really cool to see it as sunset. I have some pictures that I'm going to show you as it faded into the darkness. The next time I go, because I do plan on going back, I will highly recommend that you go in the morning at sunrise. It's far less crowded in the morning and you tend to be one of the first people there, so it's very serene. And that's how I really wanted to go when I went for the first time, but I will feel like I'm going for the first time again the next time I go, hopefully in a couple of years. So I just wanted to review the hotel we stayed in Agra, because it was a really nice place. It was called the Howard Plaza Hotel, the Fern. It was really a beautiful hotel, very well kept, nice location. It was very central to everything in Agra. The staff was very accommodating, because I can tell you I had a bit of panic when we knew we weren't going to be meeting up with his in-laws, and thankfully the hotel accommodated them, got them their room, even though I, the person who booked it, wasn't there. They were still able to check in, get their room, and all of those things, and it ended up being absolutely fine. I'm going to leave a link to that hotel website in the comments below. So if you are looking to go to Agra and you want some nice accommodation to stay in, that would be a great place to stay. They were reasonably priced, and like I said, very central. I think they were like 5 minutes from the train station in an auto rickshaw, so very convenient as well. All right, Travel Nation, I'm going to wrap up with Agra here. In my next video, we are going to be going to Jodhpur, which was part of this same journey. And then in a future video, I will be sharing my trip to Delhi, which was also part of this journey. So don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell. Make sure you like my video. Put your comments below, because I'd love to hear your thoughts on this video and ideas for future videos of what you'd like to hear or learn or like me to share about India and my travels. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And I look forward to visiting next time with you, Travel Nation, on the Traveling Cheesehead. Until next time, travel safe.